Hey guys, I'm Matt Nerd Louie and welcome to my latest video. So in today's video I'm going to be bringing you my ideas for Incredibles 2. Yes, I did just say that. If you didn't know, it was confirmed a couple of months ago that they are going to be making a sequel to the popular animated Pixar film. And in my opinion, this is great. I cannot wait for this. And I just thought with the movie fast approaching its development, it's going to be being started made soon. It might even be in production now. I just really can't wait. I think it's going to be coming out in like 2017 or 2018, somewhere around that time. But I just thought I'd bring you what I'd like to see in the film and how I think they're going to, what directions they're sort of going to go with it. And you know, let's just begin really, because everyone loves The Incredibles. I've never met a person that doesn't like that film, so you know, let's kick it straight off. Now this movie has to be good. It simply has to. The first one, it was incredible. It was one of the greatest superhero animated films of all time. It still is in my opinion, and it was just class. Now in this film, I think that the main characters should be Violet, Dash and Jack Jack. I think it should be more about them having grown up since the first movie. Obviously Jack Jack was a baby, Dash was sort of a youngish kid, Violet was sort of a teenager. I just want to see them have evolved a bit more and grown, and to see how their personalities are similar and also different to how they was in the first movie. Obviously Jack Jack's personality is going to be completely different because he was a baby in the first one, but with his like mental powers that he's developed right at the end of the movie, it would be pretty awesome to see him use them in some other situations. I'd like to see the family, like the Incredibles family, go on more sort of adventures together, obviously balancing that with their work and school life. And I just think it'd be really cool to see more of them in action, to see Jack Jack in action. We all want to see Jack Jack turn into a full-on flame monster and just go mental on some bad guys. We all want to see that. But within the film, for the individual characters other than Jack Jack, I think that for the stages of their life should be, I think Violet should be starting college. I think that'd be a really good sort of thing to go with, because we haven't really seen a lot of American colleges in superhero movies like before. I mean, we've seen them in, I guess, Transformers. It's not really a superhero movie, but it is a movie, and they did have feature college in Transformers 2, which I absolutely love. I love the bit when they go to college. It just looks perfectly how I imagine it would be. All the partying, the drinking, the drugs, which in my opinion is not that great, but you know, that's just something that apparently happens there. I wouldn't know, you know. It's just, yeah, just one of those things, I guess. Obviously they would have to tone it down a bit for this movie, because Incredibles, it will be a Pixar movie, so it's going to be more family orientated. But I think that maybe they always manage to slip some sort of innuendos and sort of adult related jokes that kids don't really understand until they get older, and they could probably worm their way in some alcohol use or some drug references or something like that. I mean, in the first Incredibles there was actually a reference to drinking. It's when the Incredibles are in on God, what's his name, Syndrome's Island. They're on Syndrome's Island, they're about to get off, trying to get back to the city, and Mr. Incredible has the idea to strap the that RV to the rocket. And essentially when they're going in to get into the RV, when there's all the guards in, if you listen closely, you can hear the guards saying, every time they scream, every time they run and scream, we take a shot. And he's obviously got a bottle of champagne or wine or something like that. So you know, that's just a little thing that Pixar put in. They always seem to do this with their movies, make little references, but obviously kids don't notice at the time because they don't really understand it. They're just focused on the actual movie itself. Now also with Violet in college, it'll probably be time. Dash is probably around the age of being late high school, so maybe just before senior years, like junior year, I believe. I'm not an expert on American school, sort of the American school system, because I'm not American, but obviously it'd be either in the last year of high school or the second to last year in my opinion. I just think it'd be cool to see how he is adapting, how he's getting on with school, because we know in the first one there was a bit of a troublemaker in school, so it'd be interesting to see what he's like now. He's a bit older, maybe a bit more mature, but who knows. And maybe obviously there's going to be sort of girls on the scene, he's going to be trying to do that, because obviously that's what teenage boys do. So yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. Then Jack Jack probably in something like middle school, or you know, like just not, I can't remember what the normal school, I'm sorry, but it'll be in just school in general, in America obviously, maybe, well yeah, they'll be in America. So it'd be pretty cool to see how he gets on with his school life and what he's personality is like, because obviously we don't know yet. He was a baby in the first movie, like I said. But I really hope that this film is great, and I really hope that it focuses on these characters, because they didn't really get much of a go in the sort of first movie. It was more focused on Mr. and Mrs. Incredible, and obviously the villain syndrome. So I'd like to see it more centralised around them, because obviously they're the next generation of heroes in theory, so it needs to be focused on them. Now, in terms of the villain that's going to be in this film, I have no idea who it's going to be. I kind of hope the Underminer's not in it. I know it's in like right at the end of Incredibles 1. Maybe there could be a little like newspaper clipping that they see or something like that, saying the Incredibles defeated him or something like that, because they did actually make a game of it. It's probably not canon, but you know, just keep it out of it. Just don't really mention the Underminer, because he's a funny villain, but he's not really serious. Don't put him in the movie. And if you go into, maybe could have a little montage at the beginning, something like that, of him fighting the Incredibles, fighting out against him. But I think they should defeat him pretty quickly, because. But anyway, back to the actual villain that I want to see in this movie. Don't know what it's going to be called, don't know what his abilities are going to be, but I think it would be cool if it was some sort of manipulative shapeshifter or something like that. And I think it would be cool if he tries individually, goes to sort of each of the kids and tries to sort of convince them to be evil and sort of to join his cause and to get away from being a hero and sort of turn them evil, essentially. I think that would be really cool to see, because that would be a way of testing the whole family relationship, because this film is all about family, is all about superheroes being as a family, and for some of them to almost go evil, or maybe one of them to go fully evil, it will change the dynamic of the films completely. But then I think in the end it would sort of, maybe the villain will get defeated and obviously they'll be back together, because Pixar films don't like to be too dark. There's always a resolution in the end, so I think that it would be cool if it ended nicely. But I think there should be some sort of villain that tries to mess with the kids and tries to turn one of them evil in sort of a sort of Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader kind of way. I would also like to see more of Mr. and Mrs. Incredible. Even though I said that I wanted to focus the film more on the kids, I obviously can't leave them out. They're part of the Incredibles. I mean, the whole family, without them two, there wouldn't be the kids, let's be honest. So I would like to see how they're sort of adapting to dealing with older life. Maybe Mr. Incredible's going through his midlife crisis or something like that. Maybe Mrs. Incredible starts finding grey hairs and she starts panicking. She thinks she's getting old. And maybe they just start thinking, you know what, let's go out moonlighting again. Even though Mrs. Incredible was so against it in the first movie, maybe she'll just think, we're getting old, why don't we go and do this? Because it seems like at the end of the first Incredibles, it seemed like the heroes were sort of making the comeback, because obviously it was made illegal to be a superhero. They had to like blend in with the with just normal people. But I think that because of what happened at the end of Incredibles, it was sort of seen by the government that they needed superheroes back, because there was these sorts of threats that are going to be coming back. And I just think that will be really interesting to see how Mr. and Mrs. Incredible continue with the superhero work as they're getting old and they're trying to raise the kids as well. I think it'd be a massive juggling act, because before they were raising the kids, they didn't really have to deal with any villains or any sort of hero work. It was just simply going to work and raising the family. But obviously, now that they'll probably be back into crime fighting, it'd be interesting to see how the dynamics change because of that. And finally, I would like to see more Frozone. Just why not? Frozone is awesome. It's played by Samuel L. Jackson. He's an absolute boss, and everyone loves him from this scene.
Honey? What? Where's my super suit? What? Where is my super suit? Put it away. Where? Why do you need to know? I need it. Don't you think about running off to doing no daring do? We've been planning this dinner for 2 months. The public is in danger. My evening's in danger. You tell me what my suit is, woman. We are talking about the greater good. Greater good? I am your wife. I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get.
So yeah, I'd also like to see him obviously getting older. Maybe he could have a kid on that's just been born or something like that, just to mix it up a little bit, because he didn't really have a family. Yeah, he had a wife, but he didn't really have any kids that we know of. So I think it'd be pretty interesting if he had a kid as well. Maybe he could have just some mental power that's not been used in the Incredibles universe before. But anyway guys, hope you have enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did. Comment on what you think is going to happen in Incredibles 2 and whether you're excited for the movie. Also let me know if you want me to do videos regarding Toy Story 4, Cars 3 and movies like that. Also Finding Dory, because obviously Pixar are really coming back strong with these franchises, bringing out sequels in the next couple of years. Would you like to see me talk about them? Let me know down there. Subscribe and enjoy my content, and if you're new around here, I do all sorts of stuff. I do daily videos, whether it's comic book stuff, movies, games, football, whatever. I do it all, so why don't you stick around for a bit. Anyway guys, I'll see you next time. Take